More than 1,000 games were released on the Switch this year. Using reviews by critics and gamers, we narrowed it down to the 10 best Nintendo Switch games of 2020, all arranged by PlayScore. Visit our website, whattoplay.com, to see the complete list. You can also take part in our rankings by leaving reviews of the games you've played. Link on the description box below. We're starting off number 10 with Trials of Mana. Classic JRPGs have slowly resurfaced into the modern world in a completely new form from their original versions. Square Enix's beloved Mana series was among the many JRPGs that paved the way to the future of the genre back in the 90s. Trials of Mana serves as a reimagining of the famed Seiken Densetsu 3, which was never released on the Western market. Now transformed into a vibrant 3D structure similar to Square's Dragon Quest, revisit the magical land blessed by the goddess Mana. It was universally praised for every upgrade they made, including the beautiful soundtrack and its stunning visuals. IGN gave it a solid 8, stating that Trials of Mana is absolutely charming and does an excellent job keeping what works from the original while upgrading its aesthetics to the modern era. In What to Play, it received a play score of an 8.33. Ninth place goes to Under Night In-Birth EXE Late Claire. A game that could rival Nier or Kingdom Hearts when it comes to ridiculous titles. It may not be as latest as one would think it is. Instead, it's a massive revision of an already established fighting game that started from Sega arcades, then PlayStation, and finally made its way to the Switch. Similar to most Arc System projects, Late Claire pits players in a colorful 1 versus 1 battle where lightning reflexes are key. Easy to learn, yes, but difficult to master. Any fan of the fighting game genre will find its simple mechanics appealing. Nintendo Life gave this one a score of 9, saying it's a fast-paced fighter that manages to successfully straddle the line between being instantly accessible and welcoming for newcomers and in-depth enough to satisfy hardcore fight fans. Its success generated an influx of avid fighting game veterans, and it's even present at almost all FG tournaments. A play score of an 8.37. 8th place goes to Sakuna of Rice and Ruin. Japan somehow mixed farming and fighting in one genre, and surprisingly, it worked. Welcome to the rice fields in this adorable 2D side-scroller published by Xseed Games and Marvelous. Learn the ancient ways of agriculture and use this knowledge to thwart invading demons from bringing ruin to the land. One reviewer from Hardcore Gamer lauded the game's seamless blend of 2D and 3D and gave it a 4 out of 5. Between its slick beat-em-up combat, Sakuna's charm comes from its mix of life sim gameplay. Manage a thriving rice field in the mountains and use the magical properties of the harvest goddess to power up and ready for the next battle. It's a fun, relaxing adventure that doesn't demand much time. It's no Animal Crossing, nor Atelier, it's just a fascinating story revolving around Japanese mythology. A play score of an 8.49. 7th on the list is 2 Point Hospital. Sega's hospital building game has been around since 2018, but the Switch version came in late. The game's main objective is to construct the most efficient medical facility and cure those who fall ill from unusual diseases. The best thing is, it doesn't take itself seriously. The game is not as normal as you'd think it'd be. Although it deals with illnesses, the patients aren't exactly part of the status quo. There are aliens to probe, mummies to heal, and even robots to fix. Nintendo insiders Alex Seedhouse applauded the game's design, giving it an 8, saying that it's a deep and challenging management sim coated in goofy and charming layers of humor. For a game that came out on the PC, the Switch port works surprisingly well. 2 Point Hospital is a wellspring of comedy that just might tickle some funny bones. It has a play score of an 8.54.
Now, to the castle!
6th is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. The only Zelda title that came out this year, and it isn't what everyone expected. Age of Calamity is a spin-off that dates back years before the events of the legendary Breath of the Wild. While it serves in the same universe, it's a completely different game. Brandishing that Musou gameplay, Age of Calamity is made by the team behind the iconic Dynasty Warrior series. It expects the player to rush in head-on and face a legion of enemies in blistering hack-and-slash combat. Taking control of the iconic characters before Hyrule's fall is something special for Zelda fans. It may share some minor story inconsistencies with Breath of the Wild, but it's easy to get past it due to its in-depth combat experience. GameSpoo gave the game a 9 out of 10, calling it the best Warriors game to date, saying it's like meeting up with old friends, only this time you get to take control of them and their gigantic toys. It receives a play score of an 8.67. Halfway to number 5, we have Rune Factory 4 Special. Straight from the ashes of the Nintendo 3DS, Rune Factory 4 Special is the definitive RF4 experience, packed with all new in-game cutscenes, colorful CG illustrations, and an updated opening sequence. Live a new life as an amnesiac protagonist and meet the eccentric cast of characters in this peaceful place. As a Story of Seasons spin-off, it has a variety of in-depth farming, crafting, and combat. What makes this Rune Factory very special is the addition of new scenarios for those entering married life and a more difficult mode that challenges veteran players. It's not that different compared to the original, but this Switch version is a necessary port to introduce new players into its fascinating world. A play score of an 8.74. Fourth on the list is Streets of Rage 4. One of gaming's renowned beat-em-ups, Streets of Rage 4 is a follow-up to the classic Streets of Rage series, and it only took them 3 decades for that. It was universally praised on all platforms, including the Switch. Critics praised its return to form from their classic side-scrolling adventures. The return of its interesting cast of characters also makes for a good nostalgic experience. Players choose to play as Axel Stone, Blaze Fielding, Floyd, or Cherry Hunter in a stylish 2D pixel art world reminiscent of the golden age of gaming. As a cult classic, it tries to blend in with gaming's modern mechanics, but for most of its combat, it remains true to its predecessors. Another great reason to play this is the return of co-op. There's nothing more fun than beating up thugs with up to 4 players in a local co-op fun, or go online with up to 2 players. It receives a play score of an 8.75. Third on the list is Super Mario 3D All-Stars. All-in-one package of Nintendo's critically acclaimed Super Mario titles. It feels like a trip back memory lane with these 3 amazing 3D platformers. Enjoy Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy in one massive collection. However, don't expect too much. As great as these titles are, this collection is pretty bare bones. While it does let players play through these amazing classics on Nintendo's best console, it feels like a simple port that brought little to no improvement to its gameplay and visuals. But then again, if it ain't broke, right? Destructoid gave this game an 8.5, saying it's a great game to experience or re-experience these games all over again. It feels like the perfect Switch game, showcasing Nintendo's best in one package. It receives a play score of an 8.86.
Right! Nothing's gonna stop me! Let's go!
Second place goes to Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. The definitive version of the 2010 JRPG masterpiece that once rocked the Wii U and the 3DS is now on the Nintendo Switch. Join the fight between man and machine and witness the origin of the hero Shulk with new and improved visuals and a few bonus features. In this edition, return to its living and breathing world teeming with secrets to uncover and places to explore. Spend over 70 hours of pure, unadulterated JRPG goodness and enjoy its blazing fast, real-time combat in a massive futuristic world. TechRaptor gave this a 9 out of 10, stating its technical prowess and saying that it's taking one of the most thrilling JRPGs of the final years of the Wii and giving it just the right amount of spit and polish for a new generation to enjoy. Compared to the modern releases, Xenoblade Chronicles might be showing its age, but it laid the groundwork on future JRPG titles in the years to come. It receives a play score of a 9.01. And the best Switch game of 2020 is Animal Crossing New Horizons. If it weren't for this masterpiece of a life sim, 2020 would definitely suck entirely. The release of this most anticipated entry from Nintendo gave the world a teeny bit of a distraction that would help them to survive this year. In New Horizons, everything is all about community. It takes place in a whole new world free from modern life woes. With more freedom at their disposal, New Horizons is a paradise of peace and serenity. Embrace that rural life and get to meet a cast of anthropomorphic critters that give more depth to its living world. Nintendo Insider gave the game a perfect 10, saying New Horizons is an unbeatable feel-good experience and an essential purchase for anyone that owns a Nintendo Switch. It's obviously the Switch system seller for the year 2020, and it introduced new players to the beauty and simplicity of Animal Crossing.
We hope you can get cozy at home and have lots of fun with friends near and far this holiday season.
It has a play score of a 9.36.